I discovered people are scared of clowns.
Yeah.
And after a while, I made that my thing. So for past so many years, that's my character. It's improv, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And people are scared of it, so I love it. The one year that I get to be mean, scary, and horrible people, and it's okay. So...
Sammy Mena, welcome to the See-Through Podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How you doing?
I'm excited to talk to you, Sammy. I have a lot to bring up with you. You have a very unique story,
For sure.
And I'm excited to release this around Halloween because a lot of your work is related to Halloween.
Oh yes.
But I don't want to spill the beans. I don't want to speak for you. So how about you give everyone a quick little introduction to who you are?
Well, I'm Sammy Mena. I'm legally blind as well. I have a prosthetic, so I only see from my right side.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, right out the gate, what I want to bring up is you've been acting for about 17 years, and most of your work is in the horror industry, and you currently yearly work at a haunted house here in New York City called Blood Manor, which is kind of known as like the scariest haunted house.
Yeah, 20 years. They've been open now.
In New York City.
Yes.
And you have so many pictures of you terrifying people. And, you mentioned you were born with one eye, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. I was born with both, but then at one point on the left side, it wasn't doing so well. So it was the cornea. There you go. Okay. The cornea was coming out from the left side. They tried to fix it twice, but it didn't work. So the doctor said it was going to go over into my right eye as well. So they were like, might as well, we have to take out the left eye because we don't want to go completely blind. So for me, I've always had my, one eye that I've always seen out of my right eye. I have no clue what it's like to see through my left eye at all. And
you have a prosthetic right now?
Yes.
You're my first guest with a prosthetic eye.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, and you kind of utilize that in your work at Blood Manor.
Oh yeah, might as well make the best out of it, right? That's what I say.
Can you tell everyone kind of how you utilize that prosthetic eye with your work?
Oh, I'll tell you from the beginning when I kind of started auditioning for the plays. Everybody's in the room trying different rooms. They have theme rooms. And one of the rooms that they wanted me to do was an electric chair. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to audition for this when we come back and see what I can do. So I'm looking through random movies and trying to come up with what happens in the electric chair. Because again, me being in the acting world, I want to make, you want to do your homework on whatever it is.
So for sure.
I came up with an idea. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm sitting in the chair. I have my eye is literally wrapped around my blindfolded. So I sit in the chair. I start yelling, shaking. I remove the blindfold, and I don't have my prosthetic on, and it's just empty. And I hear my boss say, "Oh my God!" And he looks at the other guy. Nope. And he looks at me. You got it. You're doing this job. And ever since, I try to use whatever you want to call it, disability or whatever, to my advantage. Yeah. But I have a prosthetic and it works. I make it work for the haunted house that I'm at. And the way it started, it's crazy because I just had, it was an all white eye. And, I would just hang out with my other friends waiting for everyone to get online. And people would be like, "Oh, what happened to your eye? What happened to your eye?" And I didn't know what to say. So I was like, "Oh, I got stabbed in the eye with a fork." And then I started thinking about this. And I'm like, that's interesting. I'm going to carry a fork with me. I started carrying a fork and then I would tap on my eye with it. And then it just became fun. Because I like crazy stuff like that, and I'm just crazy. I love this kind of horror creepy stuff.
Like gory horror.
Oh yeah, I'll show you later, like makeup and stuff that I use. So yeah, that's how I started. I started using a fork. And then after that, I just put my regular prosthetic eye, because I have a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And I would just put the fork around my neck. I would dress up in a creepy costume, and I would just tap my eye with the fork. It's just the eye looks so real.
Yeah.
People would freak out because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. That's how I got my audition working.
Yeah.
And
that's your origin story for Blood Manor.
17 seasons later, here we are.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and they're having their 20th anniversary for them.
Yeah, so shout out to Blood Manor. If you're in New York City area and you want to get terrified, go check out Blood Manor. It's in the Bronx, right?
No, it's in Manhattan.
Oh, it's in Manhattan. But you're from the Bronx.
Yeah, I originally lived in the Bronx, but now I live in Manhattan.
You mentioned you have a bunch of prosthetic eyes. How many eyes do you have?
I have a bunch, but literally I have a pill bottle.
Okay.
Sunday to Sunday or whatever. And I can put an eye on each one of these bottles. I have like a pirate's eye.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
I have so many. And this is perfect because my character, I love doing clown work because everyone's scared of clowns. So I actually have an eye of a clown.
Of a clown, yeah, I see it. Clowns are the scariest. They terrify me.
Yeah, I don't know why people are scared of clowns. And it's weird because for me, I grew up, liking horror movies. So my mom, here's one of my regular eyes. I just have.
Yeah, that looks pretty realistic.
Yeah. And, okay, this was the white eye that I was telling you guys.
Yeah.
This is the one I would put regularly for probably like the first 2 years. But then I transitioned to a regular eye.
So are these prosthetic eyes, I can't quite tell, are they a complete sphere or are they like half a sphere?
Yeah, it's like a sphere. I have one with teeth inside.
Teeth, wow.
Yeah, it's half a sphere, and then the back
it's like
is
half.
flat.
Okay, so it's all right. So it's not like a globe kind of shape. It's not
it's more like a sphere, and then the back part is just, for mine anyway, it's just flat.
Yeah, are they? In terms of like, you had a pill bottle for each day. Do you do a different one each day?
Oh no, I just do it for fun.
Or it's just a storage?
Yeah, because I'm crazy. I love this kind of stuff, and I was just telling my friends how I can literally put an eye in a whole pill bottle if I wanted to do something like that. But I just have it there so I don't lose them pretty much.
What's the process of changing the eyes? Is it hard to do? Do you have to make sure it's clean, or how does that work?
Well, yeah, I always clean the eye, but for the most part, I always keep it in. But for me, I just push it to the right side with like my pointer finger or my thumb, and then just take it out with my pointer finger. It's really simple to come out.
Are they comfortable?
Yeah, because again, for me, it's normal for me. I don't know what it's like to have both eyes. Yeah. So it's normal taking it in and out and cleaning it. So.
And you've had the prosthetics since you were little, right?
Yeah. When I was, like I was saying before, when I was born, the cornea was coming out, so they couldn't do anything. So probably a few months, maybe. I really don't know. Yeah. But I don't remember ever seeing through both, for sure.
Okay. And that was just something you were just kind of born with that condition. Is it called anything?
No, I don't. No, it's just that's how I lost my eye. But then with my right eye, that's where I'm legally blind. Mine is 2200, but I don't know if that's the exact number. Or a lot of people say you have to be 2200 and less or more to be considered legally blind. I don't remember.
When corrected, yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I can't have my vision corrected, even though I have glasses. Mm-hmm. It doesn't it doesn't make any type of correction at all. It'll sharpen things around to make it a little sharper because like edges will look slightly blurry. But besides that, I can walk around without my glasses and be okay.
So basically, you have your one eye.
Yes.
And it's 2200, and even with corrective lenses, it's still pretty much 2200, and the glasses just kind of sharpen it a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But does that make it hard to navigate when you're in like these haunted houses or doing the work you're doing? Is it hard? Because as someone with like RP, one of the main symptoms is like our eyes don't dilate to nighttime like maybe a normal person's eyes would. It takes way longer. So a lot of people with RP have what's called, night blindness, where basically in low light. So like, for example, I would love to go check out Blood Manor, but I feel like I wouldn't get the most out of it because I wouldn't be able to navigate the dark space. So I was curious how it is with you navigating those dark spaces.
Well, what's good about Blood Manor, two things. We've had customers that were completely blind.
Oh, really?
So again, me being in the blind community and understanding that, I want to make sure that person has a good time.
Definitely.
Knowing me being visually impaired, when I took the person through, I made sure I explained everything. I let them touch the walls and some of the actors so that at least they can see, what I still want them to enjoy themselves. Yeah. But for me, I can see pretty well in the dark. It depends if it's well lit. Because some places, oh my God, like when you walk down just those narrow streets where there's just nothing there.
Yeah, no street lights.
Oh God, yeah, that's when it messes me up.
Yeah,
because the floor is uneven, or there'll be a tree where like the ground.
Yeah, the sidewalk's raised, and you trip on the raised sidewalk. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, like that's where my vision becomes annoying in the dark.
Okay.
But like my peripheral vision on my right eye is decent, but on the left is just gone. So being outside, my eyes will adjust pretty well. But the only bad part is I have to be careful because I don't see on the right side. I mean, on the left side. So if I'm going to turn it on or whatever, I can't just turn it on and fling my arm or something like that, because I don't know if there's somebody right there next to me. At least on my right side, I have that peripheral vision, so that I can turn around and still see the person there.
Definitely. So it sounds like when you're working at this haunted house, you have like a designated role with kind of blocking where you have to be at this point in the show. And then you have a specific action that you kind of do, or do you get I know a lot of it's improv. But do you have to be in a specific place at a specific time and then you just kind of improv from there?
Well, what I do is I work outside. Because, inside they have different theme rooms. Yeah. And, you're in that room, that's your character, the kitchen or whatever. So they dress you as that character. For me, I'm outside, so I'm walking up and down on the line. There is no break time. And that's what people don't understand, the other side of working at a haunted house. It's not easy. It's not one of those, oh yeah, I can do it. And then no, because we've had people that think they can and 2 days later they're gone. But yeah, for me, I just walk up and down the line and entertain people. Either I scare them or make them laugh.
Set the mood.
Yes, I get them ready.
Yeah.
Like, we have it outside with a couple of us outside, scaring everyone, getting them ready. And then they go inside and then it really starts more.
Yeah. Because it's like the haunted house where you walk through and there's different rooms.
Yes.
And people jump out, scare you, scream at you. Then there's rooms. I saw one video on the website where it was like Jimmy Fallon and like Kevin Hart going through getting scared. And
I was there for that.
It's a famous attraction here in New York City.
20-year anniversary. So it's got to be, doing something right,
And you terrify people out in the line, because in the pictures on your Instagram and even on the website, you're in your full clowns, makeup, costume, and then you have your eye, and you should see some people. I'll throw some pictures up so people can, if people are watching on YouTube, they can see you terrifying people.
Yes.
But there's pictures of people just being terrified of you.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I discovered people are scared of clowns.
Yeah.
And after a while, I made that my thing. So for past so many years, that's my character. It's improv, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And people are scared of it, so I love it. The one year that I get to be mean, scary, and horrible people, and it's okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
You seem like such a sweet and nice guy. Does it ever feel strange to scare people?
No, that's the crazy part. It's because it's fun. That's why I grew up watching horror. Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, all that horror stuff. So I like that. So then when I came across working at a haunted house, performing at one, it's like, oh, yeah, I love this. So what I like is that once you get in costume and you walk through those doors, you're a different person. And it's just something that's fun to do, seeing people's reaction. And it's just something that's fun. And, I think school-wise growing up, you're not part of the cool kids group. So now I'm actually, people are paying attention and watching me and all that. So it's fun to be mean and all that fun stuff to people. But I do have my nice side where, when there are little kids, I'm nice.
Yeah, you shared a photo with me when we were emailing each other back and forth of I think it was a little boy, and he was not scared of you.
No, it's so crazy. You'd be surprised.
And there was a dog too that wasn't scared of you.
Oh, dogs.
Yeah.
It's crazy because all the dogs in that area know me. And I will it's the craziest thing, because this is where my weird, nice side / scary side comes in, because I'm scaring people, all the stuff. People are screaming, which is fantastic once you find that one target. And then, because they do it to themselves. I'm walking, and then I hear someone.
So basically, they give it away that they're scared, and then you hear that they're scared, and then you target them.
Oh yeah! Then I turn around and I climb over the barricade, and I just target them.
That's awesome.
Then this guy I know, he's been there for quite a while. He'll come out with his dog, and I love dogs. I grew up with them, and I will stop and kind of come out of character, and I've literally just sat on the floor playing with the dog, and the dogs are happy. And then after that, I jump right into character, but do it in a way that I'm still a character the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a lot of improv. Great for people that want to do acting and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Cool Kids Club. How was it? Because you grew up with a prosthetic eye. Did that affect your social life at all when you were growing up?
No, because I went to a school, Lavelle School, and it's basically it's for the blind and visually impaired. So for me, thankfully, it was a small school. There was 90 people in the entire school, elementary and high school.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect me because it was a small group of people. But still, when you're young, you see this other group of people that everybody wants to be like them and hang out with them. But then when you try to be the funny guy or whatever, people are like, oh, whatever, you're not funny, stop it. But with this, people are looking at me in a positive way, and I get to be the creepy fun guy, and I'm getting the positive attention that I never got in school.
Yeah.
Or younger like that. So it's interesting, and even in a small school, people still have their ways, I guess, even if it's a small school.
Yeah, it's small schools. There can be cliques.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to get in with a clique because they've already built their circle. They've already defined their circle of friends. And
So it's everywhere. You can be visually impaired. There's still a clique there.
Still cliques. You would think that there wouldn't be.
Like in a high school, of course, a huge school, there's a bunch of people. But in Lavelle, like I said, there's like 90-something kids all together. And you still have these little cliques, and it's the same thing. People will bother you or laugh at you or pick on, all that within a small school still. So it's everywhere, for sure.
Yeah. Did you have to deal with any bullying growing up?
Not really, thankfully. Like little things. I remember, like one time, like because of my prosthetic or whatever, this other kid is like making fun of me. Oh, you only see through one eye or whatever. Oh, you look stupid. And I remember I told the teacher, because I was such a baby when I was younger. Like I would cry really easy if you pick on me or whatever. But I remember telling the teacher, this student was making fun of me because of my vision or whatever. And then she told the kid not to do that, whatever. And then it stopped. So I was never, thankfully, I was never bullied in school.
Yeah.
It was more like I just wanted to be part of that cool clique, but I wasn't cool enough, I guess. One of those things.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that, teacher stopped it and all that. You know, I saw in John Marin, by the way, I just want to mention, shout out to John Marin because he's a past guest and he's a good friend of yours.
Oh, yeah. I've known him for like 30 years, since 1992, probably.
And he's put me in touch with you. And he was mentioning to me, and he wanted me to bring this up. He said that you met Cher on the Maury Povich show.
Oh, yes. It was, God, probably like 1991 or probably 93 or whatever. Yeah. And it was more for kids that, they had various disabilities, not just being legally blind.
Yeah.
And they did one of those fundraiser things where they pay for people to go down there because it was down in Florida.
Okay.
And, I didn't have the money. So, people sponsored me and some other kids. And we got to be on the Maury Povich show, and they got to talk to us about, what's it like being visually impaired and how I've had, many surgeries because of that. Yeah. And it was fun. I don't remember because it was quite some time. I don't know if it's still on. You might be able to find it somewhere on YouTube. Yeah. But that was a good experience to be able to meet Cher and be on the Manor Clown show. But it was fun. But I was young, so I don't think I fully appreciated it or understood.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it was out there for the other kids to see what it's like and understand for themselves that we're different. We have different vision or, surgeries and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a great message. And it seems like that's what you're doing with your work now. Because what I find inspiring about what you do is a lot of people hide their disability. A lot of people are really ashamed and shy, or they want to be in denial about, but you're out there broadcasting it. In fact, you're using it to your advantage with your work.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, honestly, you're putting a spotlight, by doing things like with your prosthetic eye, or, you're kind of drawing attention to it. You're doing the opposite of trying to hide it. So I find that very inspiring.
Yeah, because you're right. The only time I do kind of hide it, because since my eye it kind of comes out a little bit, I always put a little bit of blood under it. Because again, you always get customers that are stupid, and then they'll make fun of you and whatever. I don't want to deal with that. But they still think the eye is real, so I'll do that. But as far as I don't hide it, because when I audition, or even I don't go and say, "Oh, I'm legally blind." I just go and do my thing and let them figure it out and see for themselves. Yeah. Because I want them to. I don't want them to think, oh, just because a person can't see they don't know how to do things, because there's so many levels of being visually impaired. It's not like what people think. Oh, you're blind. That's it. No, I am legally blind, but I'm able to be outside and run up and down the block, and with decent lighting, and I just have fun with it. Why be upset? Make the best out of it. Have fun.
No, I love that approach. I think it's awesome what you're doing. And for anyone out there who is maybe hesitant, or maybe they're shy or bashful about, their eye condition or disability, would you have any advice for them?
It's tough, especially when you're older. If I knew a guy that nothing's wrong with him, and then at some point he had an accident, and now he lost his leg. So to me, that's inspirational, because he's fine and happy about everything. And he's always had his vision, always had everything working. And then something like that happens. Yeah. But yeah, and he's great inspiration, because I look at him as like, wow, he's not disabled in no way. And then he was in an accident. And then it's like, wow, you would think he'd be depressed and upset and all that. So that's something to think about when, you're down thinking about your situation or whatever. Just try to think of something positive, or make the best of it. Try to have fun. Because I know there's times that really are horrible, because everybody has those down times. But you got to just make the best of it. Don't let it stop you. And if anyone says anything stupid, the hell with them. Do your own thing. Be happy.
So do your own thing. Have some fun.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice. How many people do you think you've scared at Blood? Like, how many people do you think?
Oh, wow.
Thousands?
I was just going to say at least thousands over the times. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun and entertaining. It's just great to find that one victim that you just...
Is there any one person that you remember, that you remember a time where you scared someone the most you've ever scared someone?
There's so many, but I remember one time these two girls were running down the street because they were scared. And her friend is calling her like, come here. And she's scared of clowns. And I just sat there on the floor. And the girl's like, no, you're sitting there waiting. And I was like, that's good. I'm just going to sit here. You don't even have to do anything. Just the little things make a big difference. Oh my God, there's so many stories. There'll be times I'll be scaring someone, then another friend behind me will get them, and then we'll just corner the person, and they'll just be like, it's so weird, because they'll fall into that real. They think it's real, and they just start. I've made people cry. It's crazy. Kids, I can understand they're kids. They get scared, they cry. But I've made teenagers and adults, and I'm like, wow, that's just crazy. But it's so many. At least every night, there's always that one story of, oh, this person, I got them good, or this happened. So there's always something going on every time. And
so you would say that it's proof. You have proof that clowns are the most effective.
Yeah,
you've tried other things. You've played roles of zombies,
which is fun. I've gone to these things called zombie crawls, and I just cover myself in blood. I had a shirt that said "Free Zombie Hugs" to see if anybody would actually hug me, like regular people that are just walking down the street. Yeah, I got a couple of them, which is crazy. Yeah, but that's what I was saying before. The attention is fun because I'm in costume. I'm doing something fun. Everyone wants to take pictures with you and stuff like that. So, but I have the clown is what works. Actually, if you want to see one of the costumes that I have, which is easier to wear because some of the clown costumes are annoying, but this one is super easy. It's just you slip right on, and then it has like blood on it, little slashes on the side, like slash marks, and then it works. Simple, but scary. And I have like a couple of different outfits because every year I like to change things up. So
you switch it up. You gotta
it's good to change things up like every other year or so. So because we get the same customers usually, like we'll get the same from like 2 years ago, and they'll pull up a picture. Oh, I remember you, and they'll show me, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the craziest thing ever. But yeah, it's a fun job for sure.
It sounds like you really enjoy it.
Yes.
Which is rare because most people don't like their job.
Oh no, not me. I love doing this. But I can totally understand how people could not like their job. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. You also do your own makeup too.
Yes. Again, like when I started doing with the zombie crawls, that I came across that first. And, simple, just throw blood on you, little slashes of thick blood.
Yeah.
But then once we started working at Blood Manor, there was only one makeup artist. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing it myself because one makeup artist, 30 people, that's nuts. So I started just using my own makeup and, doing a clown character. So like one of the things that I brought some with me. This is like a good heavy white that I use.
Yeah.
So I usually use that. And then I have different brushes like this. I'll use this brush to really paint really well.
Do you do the white paint on your entire head?
Yeah, I do the white paint first. And then I have like a wheel of multicolors.
Yeah.
And then
those are like reds.
Yeah, red, like pink, purple.
Yeah.
Green, I think. But like one thing about having a prosthetic eye is that the skin on the top, like you can't just push on it because that bothers the eye. Mm-hmm. And so what I'll do is I'll use a small brush and I'll just slowly, like it'll be like a paintbrush. You just slowly go over it instead of pushing and pushing. So like, that's one thing you have to understand. Like if you have any type of disability or this hurts, that hurts, you know to tell the person, okay, this is something I cannot do, but I can do this. So yes.
Yeah. It's like,
I have so much blood. This is like thick blood that I use. So it's like, even though I'm legally blind, it doesn't stop me. I can still put on my own, costume, makeup, and stuff like that. And I don't let it stop me. And nobody knew. And whenever I go anywhere, people don't realize my vision until they see for themselves. Or, when I have to look at something really close, that's when that's when you can tell that I'm legally blind or something. Because I can move around with no problem, like run up and down the street with no problem.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to having to read something or even watch TV, then it's like, okay, now I have to get close because it's harder. Now you're straining your eyes if you're trying to see something from far compared to, seeing it from close.
Yeah, so if you want to see something as sharp as possible for you, you have to get close to it.
Yes, I have to. Like if I look at my phone or something, it's probably like 4 or 5 inches away compared to other people, which drives me nuts. Where they have regular vision and they're still looking down at the phone from far, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, my vision is getting worse," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You can still see this from far. How is your vision? I wish I could see this from far the same way you're looking at it."
Yeah.
And like, that's why I say, like, I appreciate the vision that I have. So I say to anyone who is legally blind, just really appreciate the vision. Or even people that have regular vision in general, appreciate the vision that you have because it's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not easy. And, there's so many different types of visually impaired, being blind. So
there's such a spectrum of blindness, you know, and some people just see lights and shadows,
Mm-hmm.
and some people don't see lights and shadows. So, and then that's the thing that it's hard for me and it's hard for others, I think, is like you said, be appreciative of what you have. And I personally have kind of learned that. I used to be a lot harder on myself until I started meeting other people who are legally blind and living with blindness, is when I kind of realized that how good my vision is.
Yes.
I've lost a huge chunk of my vision, but compared to other people my age with the same eye condition as me, I see a lot better than most. So I consider myself, very, I'm very like thankful for the amount of vision I have, and I don't take it for granted. And I try not to, and I try to soak in visuals of things when I really like, when I'm seeing something that I kind of try to soak it in more. I try to be more appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. You should totally try to, be more thankful for what you have, even if it is a couple of degrees of vision, even if it is lights and shadows, because it varies from person to person, and it's hard.
Different ways that you have to adjust to it as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's
I
a great
think
point.
For anyone that's watching that has regular vision, it's definitely good. Like you were saying, to meet other people that already have that type of vision, to understand what it's like. A friend of mine, because it's hard to explain what my vision is. Like to my sister doesn't understand. A friend of mine, doesn't regular vision, so she doesn't understand how to guide someone that's visually impaired, or how to use a cane or anything like that. So he's like I like to try to show people with better vision a little bit of what it's like to be a part of the blind world, which I like to call it, where everyone's visually impaired and whatnot.
Yeah. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to describe, right? It's hard to kind of, get people into to see your perspective of things.
Yeah. See the different side of what it's like.
Because even with people with like retinitis pigmentosa, what I have, it's like it varies from person to person. Everyone's field of vision is different, so it's like there's not a one size fits all. Like this is how people with RP see. This is
exactly.
How there's like, you can't say this is what a legally blind person sees, because there's like so many different versions of legally blind. Yeah.
It's weird because I don't think my mom in the real beginning understood or whatever either, because I remember I would sit down, being legally blind, I would sit down on the floor with the TV right in front of me. So I would sit close, and then I think it was my mom, or it was someone that would be like, "Oh, sit back, you're too close to the TV." And again, like I was saying before, for me, if I move back, it's harder to see. So I would move away from the TV, but then I would sit laying down forward, because that's the only way I was able to see. So then after a while, the doctor said, yes, I am legally blind. So for me, it's better to sit as close as possible, or to look at something, because I'm not straining my eyes. If I'm sitting far away, trying to look at something, now you're straining your eyes. So that's just another thing that people just don't get, or trying to explain color to someone that's completely blind. It's hard to explain that. So it's hard to explain different types of vision sometimes to other people.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you share the story about the TV, because that's like the classic thing, parents say to kids. They're like, "You're too close, you're going to ruin your vision."
Yeah.
Yeah, but in your case, it's like that's just the best approach to watching TV as a kid.
Yeah. But like, I feel like the only one way that I could, because having the one eye, I could tell somebody, just close your eye, put an eye patch or something where it blocks your peripheral vision. So now just try working around with that one eye. You'll see the difference. Because a friend of mine, he he put on a mask or something, and he was saying how he had no peripheral vision at all. And I was like, you see, now you can understand how I see. He was like, yeah, he totally appreciated and looked at it in a different way, because now he understands a little bit of what we deal with on a daily basis. Not just, oh, look, I'm going to try this and experiment and that's it. No, this is our normal life. Totally different.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And yeah, that the mask is a good point about, when you put on a Halloween mask and it kind of takes away your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
You can still see. And that's the thing, like when people get confused, they're like, oh, I'm blind, but I can still see. Or they see someone using a white cane and then they pull out their phone to see, where,
God,
and then people get like, people are mean to them on the internet because there's, but it's like, you can even do the test yourself, just, block your vision and make yourself have a little slither of vision.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see, and you could still walk around your apartment. You can still do that. You can still look at your phone.
But then
it's also like, imagine with having that amount of vision and not using a cane. So it's like
hard.
It's sometimes it's confusing to me how people it doesn't seem to click, because it's like, it seems like if you thought about it for just a couple of seconds, you'd be able to put it together. Maybe that's the issue. People just don't want to think about it.
Oh yeah. Like perfect example. Cause again, people are mean and stupid sometimes. Thankfully I don't use a cane. Yeah. But I do have a small one that I got it years ago. It's like a kid's cane, but I like it because it's small and it fits in my pocket easily. Unlike the bigger adult size canes that they would use, where you put it in your pocket and it still pops out. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, very rare, if I have it, once in a while take it out just to use it. I mean, hey, if you can use a disability to benefit you, go for it. If I can get ahead of the line, I'm visually impaired, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, works for me.
Well, yeah, legally blind people do get to skip the line.
No, I'm all for it. But I remember, one time it was super dark and I just had the cane with me in general. So I'm just holding it on my left side, which works because I don't see nothing. So I'm walking and I see a couple and I'm walking. The guy purposely moves the girl in the way that I'm walking so that I can bump into her. But then, thankfully I can see far enough that I was able to notice. So I'm walking, so I move over to the side. And of course, people are mean and stupid. He moves the girl over to the side again. And I'm like, in his head, he wants me to bump into them and think it's funny or whatever. And, again, thankfully I was able to see that. And I just walked around them. But in my head, I'm like, that's stupid. Like, there's no reason to do that.
That's such a dumb move. That pisses me off because it's like, one, you're being an asshole. You're moving your girlfriend or friend, whoever it is, relative, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who it is. But it's like you're trying to move them to get hit by someone walking.
Yeah, to block the way.
And then you're potentially putting, making, someone maybe who couldn't see in an awkward, position to maybe apologize and feel, so that's just a terrible situation to even try to, it's just a bad situation to try to even come up with.
Yeah. And that's
terrible.
A perfect example of how just people are just mean sometimes. And because he wanted me to bump into her. But again, thankfully, I was able to see enough. But in my head, I'm thinking, I'm just an idiot. But
ignorant's a good word.
Yeah, you always have those stupid people that do that. And again, like, they don't know, they don't understand the vision. So, it's, I don't know, people are mean.
I have a theory that people like that, like they wouldn't last one day.
Oh man.
If the roles are reversed.
Oh yeah. Because to us, it's just normal. To them, it's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. But yeah, try living in a situation, the vision, the whatever it is that we have.
Yeah.
Then they'll see it differently and maybe not be so mean. Or other people in general, they'll appreciate, wow, I appreciate the vision that I have and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, just like I said, people are mean. Don't let it get to you because it's always going to be there. You're better than them. So that's my advice for people that have moments like that where they feel that they're being picked on or made fun of because of their vision or disability.
Yeah, it seems like you have to develop a thicker skin than most, growing up with something or, living with a disability. It's kind of, it's a given. No one's going to escape it. You're going to interact with people who are ignorant and say mean things or act mean. Or, it's just a given.
Right. You have to develop thick skin or whatever. And which is hard. It's horrible to say, but you just get used to people and their stupidity and their comments. And it's like, okay, whatever. And just keep going. And again, that's what people should do. Just don't let it bother you. It's not worth it.
It's not worth your time. Yeah, it's not worth your energy. It's not worth it.
Yeah. They'll move on, do their own whatever. Have fun, be happy with yourself. For sure.
So that's definitely, it seems like a skill that you've kind of mastered. It sounds like you seems like you have that skill on lock where you're able to kind of shrug off negativity and
I try to for the most part.
Yeah. That just seems to work best for you.
Yeah, and I guess maybe doing a lot of acting and all that, you just come across people and you're going to get comments. And then whatever, I don't know, whatever. I'm happy. The hell with those people. They're just stupid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. If you're happy, stay happy.
Yeah.
Don't let someone else steal your happiness.
Yeah, that's one thing I always say. You do whatever you want. Be happy as long as you don't hurt yourself, no one, and don't be mean. Besides that, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love that. Yep. Speaking of being happy, like I was snooping on your Instagram account and I saw you were doing like push-ups on broken glass.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Oh God, I don't even know what made me start. I've always, again, like doing horror stuff and seeing people in carnivals and stuff like that, and doing like suspension where people hang off of hooks, which there's no way I'm doing that. I was talking to a friend of mine who does suspension and stuff, and I was like, it'd be interesting to see it if I can do it. And one thing, if you're going to do it, you have to break the glass yourself. Because you can get cut and you have to really be careful what you're doing. And I just started walking on it. Nothing fast or nothing crazy, but I broke the glass and put it on a pizza box. And I walked through it first. And I'm like, okay, that's not bad. And then you have to like move it around so that the pieces are scattered everywhere. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't hurt my hands. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do push-ups on the glass. So yeah, that's the things I randomly come up with. I was like, hey, why not give it a try?
Yeah, I just found it so interesting. Yeah, it sounds like you just kind of like experimenting with things that are related to kind of the horror genre and, that whole kind of world of.
Plus, I took martial arts for a bit. So watching that, I always thought it was cool seeing them do that. So it was like, okay, that made it more inspirational. But yeah, loving horror stuff, you always see crazy things like that. So that for sure as well.
Did you end up cutting yourself or bleeding at all from doing that?
Thankfully. Okay. Because when you do the glass, that's why I say you have to break it yourself and don't let nobody else. Because when I did it, I moved the glass all around, and I realized, okay, it's not so bad. and I pushed down on it a little by little, and I'm like, okay. So again, for me, I'm still new. I only did this twice. So I would just slowly move around so that, or even when I would step on it, I would do it slowly so that I don't cut myself. And thankfully, I have not done that. But do research and know what you're doing if you do anything crazy like that. For sure.
Yeah. When it comes to your romantic life, has any girls been afraid of the kind of work you've done?
No. Whenever I've told anybody, they think it's cool. It's never been a problem at all. I love horror. They know they love horror. I think the only thing that's different is they don't understand vision-wise, but whatever.
So that's more of the your vision is something you have to explain more than your line of work.
Yeah, some of that and just some other stuff we can talk about later. But yeah, it's interesting, I guess. But you can find a lot of people that do enjoy all this crazy horror stuff and definitely be in a relationship with, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned other stuff. What are you talking about there? Are you kind of suggesting that there's more?
Oh, I guess just surgery stuff that I had to deal with throughout the years, and it's just being different, I guess. So right away people see that and they're like, oh well, they're not attracted to someone being different or whatever you want to call it. It's always, they gravitate to this person more because there's nothing wrong with them or whatever. So little things like that, it's hard to get into relationships like that. And, adjust to it, I guess. Go ahead.
And when you mention surgeries, are you mentioning, is it towards like your eye, or what surgeries are you talking about?
My eye, and just again, I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate, so I had a lot of surgery on that. So because of that, I needed.
And what is that?
It's basically like if you take your thumb and put it in the roof of your mouth and push forward, a lot of that stuff is open, or like the side of your lip didn't develop completely, so they have to do surgery to put it together, and the other side as well. So it depends, again, on the way it comes out, because some people have it regular, a cleft lip, and that's it. A cleft lip and palate, which I have, and then it could be all that together. So it's the same thing as being in the blind world. There's so many different things as well with surgery and different types of anything. So so it's different. It's interesting, but again, make the best out of it, right? You have to. Can't let it bother you.
And it's probably, you had these surgeries, I'm assuming in your younger years. It's probably been a while since you've had.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have told me. So
no, thank you. But that's one thing that is like, I've had a bunch of surgeries, but whatever. Another thing I just try not to let get to me. Because again, that's something that's normal for me. So I just do what makes me happy and have fun. And it's fun. Be happy. That's what I do.
Be fun, be happy. Yeah, that seems like to be a common thing. And I'm all for it, man. I think simple advice is the best advice,
Yeah. And I think it makes it easier when... Like if you're dealing with whatever by yourself, but then when you come across somebody that's dealing with the same thing that you are, then it's like, okay, wow, I can understand it more because this person deals with it too. So now we can both talk about it. So, find someone that you can talk to and understand each other's different little worlds, pretty much.
Yeah, so you're recommending to kind of get involved in the community, you know, so if you whatever disability, eye condition you have, you know, try to reach out and meet people in your kind of world, because it'll help you. I agree with that. It helps you understand yourself more.
Yes.
And it also helps you understand your condition more, and it also helps you feel less strange about it, because if it's just you feel like an outsider. You feel like the genetic kind of anomaly that happened. But when you meet other people,
it's funny that you mentioned it, because that's what I was going to say. Was like, a lot of times you feel alone. You know how they say you're not alone? But for me, my experiences were always, I felt alone, but you're not alone until you meet someone. And then it's like, wow, they get it. Now I'm not alone. Compared to somebody else that doesn't understand what it's like. And they're just saying, oh, don't worry. Oh, this and that. No, you don't get it. But when you find someone that does, then it's like, okay, I'm not alone. So it's like, go out there and find people that you can relate to and realize that you actually are not.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. And I want to ask you too, and see if I'm wrong or right, because I feel like people who feel alone, they're valid in how they feel. You know, if you feel alone, like you feel that way for a reason. But I think some people get discouraged when they feel alone, and then they go out and try to meet people, and maybe they don't have success the first go around, or the second go around, or the third go around, and then they just kind of give up and just get discouraged and kind of accept their loneliness. But I agree with you in the sense that if you keep looking and you keep your head up and you know, you try your best to stay positive and be happy and have fun, that you'll meet somebody who aligns with you and will accept you. It's just, it might not work the first time, second time, third time, but eventually you'll run into someone where, you know, whatever it is you're going through won't even be an issue. It just, it takes some hard work. It takes some digging, you know.
Because it's not,
you'll find gold every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight thing, because, you know, it's true. It's hard sometimes when you want to be in the dating world that's with regular people that don't understand whatever you're dealing with, and they're not interested in you because they don't get it. So, you know, it's hard, but you just keep at it. Someone will come along and that works and makes you happy. Yeah, just keep at it. Or not even that, just be happy. And sometimes it happens where you least expect it. So it's like, don't even bother looking. And there you go. Boom, you never know.
Yeah. It's a classic New York City siren there, huh?
Yeah, living in New York never fails. So
many times where I'm doing these interviews and I have to say, all right, pause, hold on. Siren.
Yeah. New York
It's
City,
like a stereotype that's true, you know.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, that's all you hear back and forth. But I'm used to it. It's like, it's New York.
I was going to ask you, because we talked a lot about Blood Manor, but you've also been in a couple of films. Do you want to talk about that at all?
God, I can't think of which one. I've done like some independent stuff.
Yeah.
I've done some theater stuff, Elizabeth Rex, which was fun. I got to play a bear, which is interesting compared to, it's just different way to come up with a character, but that was theater stuff. But film-wise, I have done some films, and of course I can't think of anything at the moment, of course. But
I think I wrote some down.
I can't remember what they were.
Zombie with a shotgun.
Zombie with a shotgun. That was fun. They're doing a part 2. Hopefully that's going to come up.
You done a Last of Us short film, from
the video game, and I also played one of the monsters on that. That was fun.
Yeah,
I like doing a lot of horror stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I don't remember right now. Could put me on the spot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, that's how it always goes, right? When
of
you
course,
put on the spot, your brain just goes empty.
It just goes off. But I have done, which I'm proud of myself, that I can say I have done theater stuff. I've done independent films, nothing major, but still I can say that I've done these things and that I can say I'm proud of myself.
Oh, yeah,
to be able to say that I have. And it's just fun doing all this kind of stuff. But
well, it goes back to your motto, have fun, be happy.
Yeah. I keep saying that a lot. But yeah, I've done a lot of, independent films here and there. A lot of it is just for experience because, good God, if you're in the acting world, entertainment world, you got to build a resume. So a lot of it is free, but, some good stuff here and there. Very much. Yeah.
Well, with Halloween coming up, I'm sure you're busy right now. And I was going to ask you what your favorite horror movie was.
Oh, Freddy Krueger. That was like the first one that I grew up with. So definitely Freddy Krueger. I like Saw was good. Again, I like all this horror stuff. So I like all these bloody gore kind of movies. But Freddy Krueger's were the one for me growing up, is what started me into that. And then my mom would say, you can watch it, but if you have nightmares and you start crying at night, you're not going to watch none of this stuff anymore. And I wouldn't be scared at night, but I wouldn't say anything because I wanted to keep watching all these horror movies and stuff. But
yeah, growing up, I love horror movies. It's probably some of the most watched films that me and my wife watch. We watch a lot of horror movies. My favorite growing up was the original Halloween film.
Yeah, that was good too.
And then the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is probably my second favorite.
Good about if you watch horror movies or anything, the originals are usually really good. Like go back and watch the originals, and you'll see the difference between the two. But yeah, originals are good.
Yeah, and then when I was living in, I'm from North Carolina, and I went to school in Wilmington, North Carolina, and when I was in college, they were filming The Conjuring
so cool.
And I got to be an extra in that film. So you can, if in The Conjuring, there's a scene where I'm in like a classroom, you can see me.
Like with me, again, going back to acting and being visually impaired or whatever, it was in Lavelle School. That's what made me want to do it. Yeah. Because we had dance class. So every year we would have a Christmas play. So throughout the rest of the year, we would do tap and ballet, which I still remember my shuffle ones and twos and plies, which is crazy. And we had to do the Christmas plays every time. And then after that, once we got into high school, it was an option. And I was like, oh my God, I love this stuff. And that's when I just started to get into theater and acting. And here we are, so many years later. And I never let it, I don't want to let it bother me. There's times, of course, if you have to read a script where they just give it to you, that throws you off. Because now, again, I'm looking at it this close. So it's hard. The director and all these people are there watching you. They want to see your expression. They want to see you move around or whatever. And now it's hard for me because I have a piece of paper this close to me. And that's, that's been a few moments that were like, I wish I had better vision.
Do you use any assistive technology? Do you like magnifying glasses or screen readers or anything like that?
No, but thank God for Google Maps and phones with a camera. Because a lot of times, because I never used a visual tech in school. I don't need Braille or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I used to use a telescope just to get around, just to see what was what. But Google Maps is so much easier because it tells you which way to go. But what's annoying is like, if there's a street sign, I'll take out my phone and zoom in to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Or in the train.
So you would use a telescope before the phone came out?
That was our only option because I wasn't able to see the street sign unless I got really close or stood right under it. But then it depended on the light, if the light shined on it or the shadow of it, whatever.
Yeah.
So it still wasn't 100% easy to see the signs or whatever. Yeah. Thankfully, I'm able to cross the street, see the red light, and go and whatnot.
Yeah.
But thank God for phones and their cameras, because a lot of times on the train, there'll be times, because living in New York, the trains aren't perfect when they say what the next stop is. So there'll be so many times that I don't know what the next stop is. And I'll just take out my phone and I'll be able to zoom in and be like, okay, that's where I am. Yeah. So the phone is something that's really comes in handy for me, because there'll be so many times I can't see across the street or whatever. Why cross when I just take out my phone, zoom in? So that's something that I definitely use when it comes to having low vision. But besides that, I'm okay with, I can read regular size print. I don't need large print, except on my phone though, just because it's there. But in general, I can read regular size print. But with the phone, my iPad, I do like to put it a little bit bigger just because it makes it easier. So I don't have to struggle. But, and again, my sister always jokes around with me. And because, of course, she knows my vision or whatever. And she'll be like, oh, it's over there, you blind ass. You don't see it. And we'll just joke around because I know it's her. And she'll be like, oh, you blind fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just funny. And you want to make sure you have that kind of a comfort level with someone if you're going to joke around with whatever you have going on. Because, you want to make sure you feel comfortable with the person, that you're joking around with the person and not the person just being mean and making fun of you because of your vision.
Definitely. There's a big difference.
Exactly. That's where it comes again, where I know you, so we can joke and make fun with each other, whatever. But no, I don't know you. It doesn't work like that. Don't do that. So,
Yeah, and sense of humor is vary. Some people like to joke about their eye condition or disability, and some people don't want to joke about it at all.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have like a healthy mix, a healthy middle ground. I think it's fun to make fun of yourself every now and then personally. Yeah. That's my take.
I call myself, I'm like, God damn it, blind ass. I can't find it. Blind. But like one thing that I do when it comes to my vision sometimes, like I won't get something like my phone. It's a blue case. I don't want to get a black case because it'll blend in with a lot of things.
Sure. So that's good. Good advice.
Like I'll put it on my TV or something. There'll be a lot of times where I'll put it somewhere and it's like, damn it, what did I put? Whatever it was. And now I'm looking for it. So like that would be another thing that I use to my benefit, where it's like, okay, I know I can't see this. So to make it easier, get a blue phone with a blue. I like blue, that's my favorite color, but get something that's easier.
Get a brighter color
to see for yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, again.
Yeah, I have a black phone case. And I lose it all the time. It's kind of funny because I'll be like looking for my phone, and then I'll be like, "Where's my phone?" And I'll ask my wife, like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" She's like, "It's right there in front of you."
Oh my God! Don't even start with the right.
Yeah, and then I immediately see it, and then I'm like, "Oh, whatever."
Going back to the whole people not understanding visually impaired. Once I went to CVS. And I was looking for something. I asked the guy, "Oh, do you have whatever it was?" And he's like, oh, it's over there. So a lot of times, because it makes life easier for me, I'm like, oh, can you show me? Because I don't see too well. I'm legally blind or visually impaired. And, they'll help. But once in a while, this one guy was like, oh, over there. And I'm telling him I don't see. And he's still pointing over there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that
over there
doesn't help. And I just got annoyed to the fact that I went on Twitter and I was like, at CBS, please explain to your employees what the word visually impaired and legally blind mean, and not what over there means. Because, again, people don't understand what that means, and it's annoying that.
Yeah. There should be more training involved in that. I think some simple training involved with that, I think would go a long ways.
That's very true.
And so going back to using your phone, versus using a telescope, it's like, it's amazing how much technology has changed things. It's like, people forget this, but this is the best time on planet Earth to have a visual impairment.
I say, because, I was born I'm old, 77, through the 80s and 90s and stuff. So like now, it's like we are living in the future. We didn't have all these things.
You've seen it change.
Oh, we definitely have, because back then when I would travel, I would look on Google Maps on the website, and I would literally take a piece of paper and draw straight, left, this and that.
Yeah. Because
I didn't have the phone and how so much easier it is. So people are so much luckier now that we are living in times like this.
Yeah, that's a good thing to remember, is that this is the best time.
Oh my God,
ever. Imagine being in like the medieval times in your.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus, would have been horrible. Yeah, I don't even want to know. I'm pretty sure back then.
Before electricity and you had lights and you had to use candles, like it'd be because, that's the thing, like RP, and all these visual impairments, they go back years and years and years, centuries.
Oh, yeah. And back then,
people in medieval times had retinitis pigmentosa. So imagine them trying to navigate dark spaces with only candlelight versus all the technology we have now. And it's something to be thankful for. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And like, that's another perfect example that you mentioned, light, is that for me, I appreciate light. I'd rather have the lights on. If I'm watching TV with someone, I'd rather have the lights on instead of the lights off. Because for me, it just makes it easier to find something to whatever. Leave the light on. There's no reason to turn it off. And, I have other friends that have better vision than I do. And they'll leave the light off or have little lights on. And it's like, oh my God, it's so annoying. So, again, for me, I appreciate light. I'd rather there be a well-lit room so that if you say, oh, look, it's right there on the floor, I can see it so much easier than having to look around. Or it's annoying where you have to like feel around for it. Like I've had moments like that. I'm like, oh my God. So light is good. I appreciate light. For sure.
Yeah, light is good. Light is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate I like light, but I like it to be soft. Like I don't like really harsh. I especially don't like bright, like fluorescent lights.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of a catch-22 because it's like I like being the brightness of it, but then also my eyes will get very sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Because my eyes don't adjust to light the way normal people's eyes do. Mm-hmm. So I'm always wearing hats and, it's like, sometimes it's like light is good, but too much of it causes sensitivity.
Yeah. Like for me, it's you see that you ever see those construction workers where they have those really bright neon
vests? Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it's something that's really bright like that for sure is annoying.
Yeah.
Because for me, with my right eye, I can't keep it straight. Like if I'm looking at you and my eye moves, I can't control it. It just moves slightly back and forth. So I guess because of that slight movement, looking at
that's
something
called a nystagmus, right?
Yeah. There you go. I believe it is.
Yeah.
So that moving back and forth, makes it like really annoying on my eyes. And that is when it's like, it's just too much. I can't look at that. Especially now that I get seizures once in a while. Thank God it's been a while. But, when you get seizures, all that bright, blinking light, it drives me nuts. Or, again, that super neon stuff is like, that's when I have to like, whoa. But again, I don't wear sunglasses, but sometimes I will.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes, but if I go outside, there has been moments where it'll be like, whoa, it's really bright. Or I'm sure there's people out there listening or watching that. For me, sometimes I'll go out in the bright light and I'll just start sneezing like 3 times because it's so bright. I'm like, oh, sneeze.
It'll make you sneeze?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm weird or one of the very few. But yeah, sometimes when I go outside, sun will just be really bright. And I always, for the most part, I'll end up sneezing like 3 times or, a few times. And then, so my eye will, I guess, maybe slightly adjust a little bit. But I'm, I guess, one of the very few that has that happen to me. Or maybe it's just my, again, that perfect example of people with their different types of vision.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me that it happens to. It's really, really bright and it just makes me sneeze. And then it's okay afterwards. But yeah, it's different. It's interesting. But
yeah, I've never heard of someone sneezing from light, but
I believe first time. Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, first time for everything, right?
Yeah. It's different things for different people.
That'd be true.
But Sammy, I was gonna ask you, are you working tonight?
No, this is why I figured this would be perfect because
good time to chat.
Yeah, because Thursday to Sunday, I'm working, and it's like usually Mondays. It's like I'm just tired. I want to do nothing. It's like usually Tuesday, perfect. I'll go somewhere. I'll do whatever.
Yeah,
because my sleeping habit
is perfect then.
Yeah, just perfect timing. So yeah.
So if people want to go see you at Blood Manor, that they should go Thursday through Sunday?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Thursday through Sunday. Blood Manor Clown, that is me. I've been that clown character forever. I found as far as acting wise, that's my character. So yeah. Well, Blood Manor Clown, man. Instagram, hashtag Blood Manor Clown @ all that stuff. But yeah, I love it.
And I'm gonna, if you're listening or watching, I'm gonna have Sammy's information in the show description, so you can go check out, the Blood Manor website. You can check out his Instagram, his IMDb page. You got a lot to check out. A lot of really interesting content on your Instagram. I recommend everyone go follow Sammy. I was gonna say, is there anything else you wanted to add? We covered a lot in our conversation. Is there anything else you wanted to speak on?
No, I just, for anyone that's going through whatever, that's just, especially now how everything's been so crazy in this world, just, again, do whatever makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting yourself or nobody else, go for it. If you're able to explain your vision to other people so they can understand it, that's great. Because then, they'll get a better appreciation of what it's like living or being a part of the blind community.
Yeah. You've probably educated so many people through your work.
I hope so. Because I can say that I'm proud of what I have done. Especially, again, this is what I've always wanted to do. I went to college for multimedia programming. And I always say, I always wanted to go to college. I'm proud of myself. I went to college. I graduated. Yeah. And in regular school, I hated school and all that. But when it came to college, I wanted to go to college. I went for multimedia programming, accomplished nothing, but I passed. And then I came across acting and theater and performing and find what makes you happy and at least try,
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to make it maybe here and there, but at least you can say you tried. And that's how I always looked at it for me. I'm proud of myself for what I have built a little bit in the acting world. And if I never go anywhere big, at least I can say I tried. I love, perfect example, I grew up watching wrestling. Always wanted to go to wrestling school. My Jonathan, who we're talking about, best friend, him and I, we went to wrestling school for a while. And it didn't work out, but I tried. I can say, I did it, I tried. So if you're able to at least do it. And at least you can say you tried.
Yeah, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And if you find something you're passionate about that brings you joy, that makes you happy, explore it more. Don't let it, don't just sit it on a back burner, you know.
Yeah,
I recommend trying it out. Like you said, just giving it a shot. Yeah.
And it's
Who knows where it will take you.
Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy how it's like sometimes it takes that one person to give you that push.
Yeah.
Because I never thought I could do acting or whatever because the way I look, because of my disability or whatever, having the prosthetic. And one of my friends was like, just do it. And that was that push. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Just do it.
Yeah.
And here we are. So just do it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I love your mentality. I love what you said. And I find how you lean into your disability with your work to be very inspiring. I love that you broadcast it, you throw it out there, you're not ashamed of it. I find that inspiring, man. I appreciate what you're doing.
I have fun with it. Oh my God, there's so many people that are scared even of taking out a prosthetic. And I have friends that love this kind of stuff. And I'll be like, hey, you want to take it out? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then there are other people, I'll be like, you want to take out my eye? And they'll just freak out. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
I have fun with it.
Could you take it out now?
No. That I know. But it's fun.
I figured I'd ask you.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, like certain things like that is like if, like I'll tap my eye with the fork. But when it comes to people recording it, like regular customers, it's like, no, that I don't want to do because they're going to go home and make a joke out of it. And it's like, no. But then there'll be other times where I know it's okay to do. I feel comfortable enough with the person or whatever. And then it's like, okay. But, you know, it's
good. You have boundaries, you know.
Yeah.
You got to have boundaries.
Yeah, plus taking it out, you got to clean it and all that. So it's a whole thing. And then putting it back in. And so, yeah.
Well, that's good because it's like you're open, but you also have boundaries. And I think that's the best way to be, I think.
Yeah, and it's good to know your boundaries as well and understand and let people know this is how I feel and don't do this or whatever. Because I had a friend of mine and you know, she didn't like to be hugged or didn't like this or, you know, whatever, had her hair played with or whatever. And she let me know. And I appreciated that. I'm like, okay, cool. That's one of your boundaries and I respect it and I get it. And, you know, I love her. She's a great girl. I'm not going to be stupid and anyone, don't be stupid. And those are someone's personal boundaries. Let them have them. To respect people's boundaries and whatnot.
1,000%.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if you're in New York City area or you want to make the trip up to New York, check out Blood Manor and go get terrified. Warning, if you are terrified of clowns and zombies and ghosts and you name it, it's there.
Yes, if you're scared of clowns, then come down.
Go check it out.
Yes.
But like I said, I have all Sammy's information in the show description. And Sammy, I just want to say thanks again for taking the time on your day off to talk with me. It was a super interesting conversation. Again, I love your work. And I'm excited to have this episode out around Halloween to kind of help everyone get in the spirit. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And it's fun to just let everybody know what's out there and that they're not alone, you know? Have fun, be happy. Final words. Be happy.
And you have such a powerful story. So I think I'm also very excited not only to get people hyped for Halloween, but to hear your story. I think there's a lot people can learn from it. And I myself did. So thank you.
Thank you.
And like you said throughout the episode, be happy. Have fun, be happy. That's what we're going to end on. How about that?
Works.
All right, Sammy, take care.
Thank you. You too.